Welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be talking about something that's honestly way more complex than most people realize.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's male contraception.
Okay.
We're going way beyond just like the typical,
Condoms, vasectomy.
condoms and vasectomies. Because honestly,
I
those
would.
haven't really changed that much in decades.
No.
So we're going to be looking at some fascinating research from the pasted text you provided to us.
Okay.
And we're going to look at why men have such limited choices when it comes to family planning.
You know, it's funny because we're talking about something so fundamental to human reproduction.
Right.
Yet the responsibility has traditionally fallen almost entirely on women.
That's right. It's like science just kind of focused on one half of the equation for way too long. So let's start with what's familiar.
Okay.
Condoms.
Right.
They've been around forever.
Forever.
98% effective
If
when used correctly.
correctly, yes.
But that correctly part is key.
It is. Because human behavior is always a factor.
Always.
And even with perfect use, there's still that small chance
Right.
of failure.
Yeah.
And they don't address the desire for more options
Oh.
for a lot of couples.
And then there's withdrawal.
Oh, yeah. Which chilled pull-out method.
Yeah, let's be honest. It's
Ah.
more like 78% effective. I wouldn't take that gamble.
It's definitely not the most reliable method.
Not at all.
And of course, neither condoms nor withdrawal offers any protection against STIs,
Yo.
sexually transmitted infections.
No. And speaking of reliability, vasectomies are over 99% effective.
Very effective.
Big butt.
Permanent.
Permanent. That's a big decision. It makes you wonder why there haven't been more reversible options.
Yeah.
Developed for men?
Well, the science is tricky. Stopping millions of sperm every day
Yeah.
is a whole different ballgame
Oh, wow.
than preventing the release of one egg per month.
Okay, I see. But there's got to be more to the story. I mean, it's 2025. Why haven't we, cracked the code
I know.
on male contraception yet?
Well, there's a thought that research has been slow due to a combination of things. One, the complexity of male reproductive biology.
Okay.
And two, frankly, a lack of investment
Oh,
compared to research into female contraceptives.
interesting.
Historically, contraception has been seen as a woman's domain,
Uh-huh.
which has definitely influenced funding priorities.
Yeah, it's almost like we've just accepted this limited set of choices for men as just the norm.
Right.
But thankfully, that's starting to change.
It is.
There's some pretty incredible innovations in the works that could, completely revolutionize male contraception.
Absolutely.
Imagine, a male pill.
Ooh.
Something you could just take, just like many women do.
There are a few different types of male pills in development, actually.
Oh, wow.
Some use hormones to suppress sperm production,
Okay.
while others are looking at non-hormonal approaches.
Cool.
One particularly interesting one
Yeah.
is a pill that targets a protein
Okay.
that's essential for sperm mobility.
So it basically makes them, swim in circles.
Yeah, you could say that.
Uh-huh.
Prevents them from reaching the egg.
Okay.
And the advantage of this approach is that it could potentially be effective for a full 24 hours
Wow.
without interfering with hormones.
Now, this next one, I gotta admit, this sounds a little strange to me.
Okay.
A gel
All right.
that you rub on your shoulders
Yes.
called Nest. How does that even work?
Nest.
Yeah.
It's a hormonal gel that combines testosterone and a progestin. It's absorbed through the skin.
Interesting.
Affects hormones to reduce sperm production.
So similar to
It's similar in concept
yeah.
to the hormonal methods used by women,
Okay.
but delivered in a different way.
Okay. But wouldn't that affect a man's natural testosterone levels?
That's something researchers are definitely carefully studying.
Yeah.
Early trials suggest that the combination of hormones in Nest can maintain testosterone within a normal range,
Okay.
but more long-term data is needed.
Sure. So there are potential hormonal impacts to consider with that one.
Right.
Now, what about Vasalgel?
Okay.
That's the one I keep hearing about.
Vasalgel is very different.
Okay.
It's a non-hormonal injectable gel
Mm-hmm.
designed to block sperm from traveling through the vas deferens.
Wait, the vase what?
Sorry, the vas deferens.
Okay.
Those are the tubes that carry sperm from the testes.
Got it. Okay, so Vasalgel is basically like a temporary reversible vasectomy.
Exactly. The gel creates a physical barrier within the vas deferens,
Okay.
preventing sperm from passing through.
Interesting.
What's exciting is that it's designed to be reversible.
Oh, wow.
So if a man decides he wants to have children, the gel can be flushed out
Wow.
potentially restoring fertility.
That's incredible. It seems like a game changer for, men who want long-term effective contraception, but aren't ready for the permanence of a vasectomy. But is it really as good as it sounds?
Right.
What are the downsides?
Well, as with any new medical technology, there are still unknowns.
Right.
Vasalgel is still in clinical trials,
Okay.
so long-term efficacy and safety data are still being collected.
Gotcha.
But early studies in both animals and humans have been very promising.
Okay, so we've got pills, we've got gels, we've got injectables. We even have a temporary reversible option. Sounds like the future of male contraception is getting pretty diverse.
It is.
And that's not all.
Yeah.
Researchers are even exploring the use of ultrasound technology
Ultrasound.
for male contraception. Ultrasound, like what they use during pregnancy. How
Yeah.
could that possibly work?
I know, it sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But studies have shown that high-frequency sound waves can temporarily disrupt sperm development, leading to a decrease in sperm count.
So basically, they're using sound waves to kind of stop sperm in their tracks.
That's it.
That's straight out of a sci-fi movie.
I know it is.
Wow.
Research is still in its early stages.
Okay.
But the potential for a non-invasive, reversible contraceptive method like this is very exciting.
So we've got pills, we've got gels, injectables, we've got sound waves. It's clear that there's a lot happening beyond the usual options.
There is.
But here's what I really want to know.
Okay.
Why does this all matter so much?
Right. That's a crucial question. It's not just about giving men more choices, although that's definitely a big part of it.
Right.
It's about shifting the entire paradigm of reproductive responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean, for generations, the burden of contraception has fallen largely on women.
Yeah.
And while there have been incredible advancements in female contraceptive options,
Right.
it's time to acknowledge that men have an equal role to play in family planning.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's about time we move past this idea that it's solely a woman's responsibility,
And when we start to see it as a shared responsibility, it can really change, I think, the dynamics of relationships for the better.
For sure.
Imagine the impact this could have on just communication,
Right.
decision-making within couples.
Yeah, it's like opening up this whole new level of partnership, right?
Yes.
Instead of one person like the weight of those decisions, both partners can actually actively participate
Exactly.
in choosing a method that works best for them.
Precisely. And it's not just about the practicalities
Right.
of preventing pregnancy.
Sure.
It's about really empowering both individuals to make informed choices
Yeah.
about their bodies and their futures.
That's such an important point. It's about like giving everyone more autonomy and control over their reproductive health.
Absolutely.
And honestly, it's about time.
It really is.
Yeah.
And while these innovations in male contraception are incredibly exciting,
Yeah.
we need to be mindful of ensuring that they are accessible
Right.
to everyone.
Yeah. That's a really crucial point. We can't just develop all this amazing like new technology and then just make it available to like the people who can afford it. We need to make sure that it's affordable and it's accessible to all men,
Absolutely.
regardless of, their background or location.
It's about addressing those systemic barriers that prevent people from accessing essential health care.
Right.
Reproductive rights are human rights.
Yes.
Everyone deserves the opportunity
Yeah.
to make informed choices about their reproductive health.
It's interesting to think about like the potential ripple effects of, these new male contraceptive options becoming widely available. Like, how do you think it could change things on a societal level?
Ooh, that's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
I mean, we've operated under certain assumptions
Yeah.
about gender roles,
Right.
responsibilities for so long.
Yeah.
If men suddenly had a wider range of contraceptive choices,
Right.
it could potentially lead to a significant shift
Yeah.
in those dynamics.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, it could challenge traditional expectations around,
Totally.
family planning and who's responsible for preventing pregnancy.
Exactly. It could even impact things like dating culture,
Oh, wow.
career paths
Yeah.
for both men and women.
Right.
Imagine a world where the responsibility for contraception is truly shared,
Yeah.
where both partners have equal access
Right.
to safe and effective methods.
Right.
How might that change the way we approach relationships,
Right.
family planning,
Yeah.
even our careers?
Yeah. It's like a whole new social landscape.
It is.
And I gotta admit, I'm really curious to see how it would all play out.
From a purely analytical standpoint,
Right.
it would be fascinating to observe those societal shifts.
Yeah.
It would be like a massive social experiment. but one with the potential for incredibly positive outcomes.
Right, right. It makes you wonder if, like, some of the resistance to male contraception stems from, like, a fear of those changes.
Possibly.
A fear of, like, disrupting the existing, you know, power dynamics.
That's a valid point to consider.
Yeah.
Change can be unsettling.
For sure.
Especially when it challenges deeply ingrained norms and beliefs.
Totally.
But I believe ultimately, these innovations have the potential to create a more equitable and empowered society for everyone.
I agree. It's not about, like, men versus women. It's about giving everyone more freedom and agency to make the choices that are right for them.
Exactly.
And that's something worth striving for.
Absolutely. It's about creating a world where everyone has the information and resources they need to make informed decisions about their bodies and their lives.
Okay, so we've talked about the science, the potential benefits, the possible societal impacts. But for our listener who's been taking in all this information, what's the takeaway? What can they do right now to be a part of this change?
Well, first and foremost, they can educate themselves.
Learn about the current options available for men, the research that's underway, the potential of these new innovations.
Right. Knowledge is power.
Yes.
And the more we understand about male contraception, the better equipped we are to have informed conversations and advocate for progress.
Exactly. And speaking of conversations, talking about male contraception openly and honestly is crucial. Share what you've learned with your friends, your family, and partners.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we underestimate the power of just talking about these things.
Yes.
The more we normalize the conversation around male contraception, the more we can break down the stigma, encourage others to get involved.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to challenge the status quo. You know, question those outdated assumptions about gender roles and responsibilities.
We can also support organizations that are working to, like, advance research and development of male contraceptive options.
100%. There are a lot of dedicated scientists and advocates out there working hard.
Yes, they are.
To make these innovations a reality.
They are.
And as these new methods become available, we need to advocate for policies that make them accessible and affordable to everyone.
It's about pushing for a healthcare system that prioritizes reproductive rights, ensures that everyone has the opportunity to control their reproductive destinies.
Okay, so to sum it all up, while we might not have a wide array of male contraceptive options available, like, right this second, the future is looking brighter than ever.
It really is.
But it's going to take all of us to get there.
Absolutely.
We need to educate ourselves.
Educate.
Talk about it. Challenge the status quo.
And advocate.
I think that's a great point. To transition into something you brought up earlier, you asked our listener to imagine
what it would be like if all these new options were available today.
I did, yeah. Okay, so imagine you're a young person today, just starting to explore relationships and navigate the complexities of sexuality. You're probably getting a lot of information, mostly focused on what girls and women need to do to prevent pregnancy.
That's been the dominant narrative for far too long.
Exactly. But now, imagine a world where you also have access to safe, effective, and reversible male contraceptive options.
That's right.
How might that knowledge, that freedom of choice influence, like, your decisions, your interactions, and your overall outlook on relationships and family planning?
It's a powerful question to consider.
Yeah.
How might it change the dynamics of those early relationships?
Yeah.
Knowing that both partners have equal responsibility and options when it comes to contraception.
It could potentially lead to, like, more open and honest conversations about sex and intimacy. And it could empower young men to take a more proactive role in protecting their own reproductive health.
Totally.
It could also influence decisions about education, careers,
and family planning.
Family planning.
Knowing that they have reliable contraceptive options could give, like, young men more confidence to pursue their goals without feeling pressured to, like, start a family before they're ready.
It's true.
It's really fascinating to think about all the potential ripple effects.
Yeah.
And it highlights why this conversation is so crucial, especially for, like, younger generations.
Absolutely.
They're the ones who are going to inherit this new landscape of reproductive possibilities.
Right.
And it's essential that they're equipped with the knowledge and resources to navigate it effectively.
It all starts with awareness and education.
Yes.
The more we talk about these issues,
right,
the more we can break down stigma and empower young people to make informed choices about their sexual and reproductive health. It feels like we're at kind of a turning point in the conversation about reproductive health.
Yeah.
For so long, the focus has been on women.
Right.
And while that's been incredibly important,
of course,
it's time to really bring men into the equation in a much bigger way.
I couldn't agree more. We need to kind of move beyond those very limited options that have been available to men and really push for innovation and access.
Yeah, and it's not just about like the scientific advancements.
No.
Right? It's about changing attitudes.
Absolutely.
Expectations.
We need to challenge those outdated social norms.
Yeah.
That place the burden of contraception solely on women.
It's about recognizing that men have an equal responsibility in family planning decisions.
Exactly. And that shift in mindset can have really profound effects on relationships, families, society as a whole.
You know, this whole conversation reminds me of something I read recently.
Oh, yeah.
About how some cultures have a much more balanced view of contraception. It's not seen as just like a woman's issue,
right,
but a shared responsibility for couples.
I think that's a great point. There are definitely valuable lessons to be learned from cultures that kind of approach reproductive health in a more holistic and equitable way.
It makes you wonder how things might be different if we kind of adopted a similar perspective here.
Yeah, for sure. What if, from a young age, boys and girls were both educated about the importance of contraception?
Right.
And taught that it's a shared responsibility?
Yeah.
How might that change their attitudes and behaviors as they grow up?
It could potentially lead to a generation that's much more comfortable, like, talking about these issues, making informed decisions together.
Oh, totally.
And it could help create a society where, you know, the burden of preventing pregnancy isn't disproportionately placed on women.
Absolutely.
It's about creating a culture of mutual respect and understanding when it comes to reproductive health.
I think that's a beautiful way to put it. It's about fostering a sense of partnership.
Yeah.
Shared responsibility.
Right.
In all aspects of relationships.
Totally.
Including family planning.
Well, I think we've explored just about every facet of male contraception in this deep dive.
We have.
We talked about existing methods. We talked about the exciting new innovations on the horizon.
They're very exciting.
Scientific challenges. Social implications.
Right.
Most importantly, why this conversation matters so much.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
And I hope our listener feels more informed and empowered to participate in this ongoing dialogue.
I hope so too, because at the end of the day, this isn't just about science or technology, it's about people.
People? Yeah.
It's about relationships, families, the choices that we make about our bodies and our futures.
And creating a world where everyone has the freedom and the resources to make those choices responsibly and without judgment.
And that's a future worth fighting for.
It is.
So to our listener, we encourage you to continue exploring this topic. Talk to your friends, your family, your partners. Share what you've learned, ask questions, and challenge the status quo. The more we talk about male contraception, the closer we get to making it a reality for everyone.
And remember, knowledge is power. The more informed we are, the better equipped we are to advocate for change and create a more equitable and empowered future for all.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of male contraception. Until next time.